So just there, I was washing my dishes and speaking to Thoth, and I decided to record this video, which I'll post later today, because I can post this and not read anything, good or bad, just post it and understand that somewhere along the line, my soul agreed to this experience to be very involved with the 144,000 and their emancipation, and to be a spiritual teacher. And whilst it's been very difficult to receive a lot of abuse, to be the subject of false allegations, and to read what I read in the Akashic records 2 days ago as it comes to the abuse of my soul, which was Re-Latin, reincarnated, and then the kicker was it's also one of the Starseeds mods and several of the members. However, if I give up now, then I'm just playing into their hands. That's exactly what they want. They didn't do all those things so that I would be able to continue. They did it so that I would stop. Everything that's been happening, false allegations, the use of Anunnaki soul leashes, to which Re-Latin reincarnated one of the mods from Starseeds, who's also Anunnaki, and about 97 of the members of Starseeds hold tethers. Now, working with Thoth yesterday, it's my belief that I dismantled the tether system. Time will tell, because people will realise that they're no longer being manipulated. But all of these measures are there to make sure that the truth does not see the light of day. And the exile of the Truthbringer and the smearing of the Truthbringer is a mythological archetype as old as time. The Truthbringer and the Lightbearer have been exiled since the time of Prometheus. So if this is mine to bear, then I must bear it. And yesterday I just laid on my couch and did nothing apart from ask for divine intervention. And I know that everything is divinely orchestrated, even the bad things. I also know that the only way that Atlantis is capable of being resolved is through reenactment. The karmic cycles are too strong to do anything with without re-experiencing them and rewriting them and re-scripting them and resetting a narrative on the Akashic level alone. So, as Oasis has said, you gotta roll with it, you gotta take your time. And whilst things have been difficult recently, what I trust is that everybody now has the information. Whether they believe it or not is actually none of my business. I'm not here to make people believe. I'm here to bring people the tools that they need to believe in themselves enough to trust their own truth. That's Gnosis. And I don't want to abandon the 144,000 now. I've been doing some reading for people where I've been identifying what percentage of their soul, their original soul template, Re-Latin reincarnated had in his Anunnaki soul cache. And the percentage of those has actually been significant for many. And it's not normal to integrate massive pieces of soul. It's normal for people to reclaim fragments if they do something like a 12-step program, or maybe they read a whole lot of self-help books. That's soul retrieval. But to have pieces of soul, like for example, for me, because of my PTSD recovery and working with a spiritual healer, I've had pieces of my own soul channeled into me. My own soul that I had access to. Not the 98% that Re-Latin had enslaved until the other day. So I kind of know the script on what it's like to have massive pieces of soul integrate really, really quickly. But other people don't know that. And I was on the phone to one of my best friends this morning. Obviously she's my best friend because she's part of our soul group, and her entire family are part of the 144,000. And her daughter, I think, didn't have access to 98% of her soul template too. Severe ADHD, autism, and she's struggling. because she's just had received this thing that's going to be a gift for her future. And I'd already identified, I'm like, that girl is going to be a talented psychic one day. The reason why she's struggling is because she doesn't see the world like you do. And it made me realize that there probably are other people out there who are having similar issues but don't have access to the information that they need to help them do self-care during this period, or even to understand what's happening to them. And it's my role as a teacher to share that information. So at this stage, I've said what I have to say. I've told everybody what I know. It's up to them what they do with that information. I am no longer going to be defending myself against false allegations. And the reason why I was silent on the allegations for so long is because they were false, and I was not going to engage in the distortion. And then I responded to them, and I wasn't popular for that either. I didn't get any compassion or sympathy. However, it doesn't make it less true. And to be a leader is to be someone who is willing to stand in conviction alone, even when nobody else is there. I stand in conviction alone because I know that I act with integrity, and I know that there's a great need there, that there needs to be education on, and I know that I'm capable of delivering that education. Whether or not people use the resources that I provide is completely up to them. The information's there. I've made it available without paywalls. And if anyone's watching this and they don't know anything like their starseed origin, check out our toolkit, because I read Akashic, and Thoth and I actually created the Akashic stream together. So my readings are mind-blowing, fantastic. My work on the Akashic is groundbreaking. Other readers take ideas that I've had and integrate it into their own work, which goes to show how powerful a reader I am. So we have that, but people who've received their Atlantean soul fragments, I also have an Akashic series where I've already released part 1 for Atlantis. And if you look in the toolkit items, there's an example of what's covered there. And there's some people that already have orders for this report, which I haven't yet fulfilled, but I am going to be fulfilling them. It's just that Thoth told me that I had to do really light energy work for a period of time, so I've had to take care of myself. And in order to read well, I need to get myself into a state of complete neutrality, which sometimes is easier than others. So when I was reading the Collective Field of the Starseeds subreddit the other day, and finding out what I found out about what they had been doing to my soul, I had to maintain neutrality through that. But this is why I have not been really mentioning my Akashic work for a while, because I needed to get myself into the headspace to feel happy about doing it. You know, we need to enjoy what we do, or it's not worth doing. So now I'm feeling like I can come into a place of enjoyment. So I wanted to mention that too, because it's part of the picture of this, the soul integration. Soul consciousness is part of integration. And just to round off, another thing that made me realize that I need to continue teaching is, when I have been telling people about the percentage of their soul that they're now receiving back, I've also been reading what percentage of that soul part is integrated for them. And for most people, it's like 30%, and it's going to take them like another 6 to 12 weeks to integrate. And actually, just so you know, this teaching space on Revolution is Spiritual is like a node for the 144,000. So the people that have been engaging in the content on this forum more are having faster integration periods, which is really interesting. But one person that I read, they had integrated 0. And that concerned me because I hadn't seen that before. And for the people that are in that position, and I don't think it's many people at all, but they will have to go and see a multi-modality spiritual healer with a shamanic focus to get their piece channeled directly into them. It's not a concern, and it shouldn't cost too much money either. If there's a lot of people we can get together, like a practitioners list of people that they can reach out to. I only know one personally, but other people will know. But if you don't know, then you don't know, and then you don't receive the benefit. But actually, if you're in that position, and then you do go and see a healer that can do that for you, then your first part of your reduced down to like a week. So there are benefits to that too. So that's what I've decided. I'm going to keep teaching. I'm going to stop engaging in the distortion. And just a reminder, the reason why they create the distortion is to harvest loosh. But also, when you engage in distortion, it creates tears in your auric field. And when you have tears in your auric field, it makes you energetically vulnerable and they can manipulate you. So Thoth and I removed the tethers, which is great, it's significant, but there are other things that they can do because they're using black magic, which I identified in the report. So just be safe, guys, and use your discernment. I released an emergency Gnosis Now toolkit item, which you can use to find the frequency of truth on things and to trust your own judgment. You can call in your own spirit guides. Everyone can channel. Don't let anyone tell you that only special people can channel. Everyone can channel. This is what makes me the Crisis Sophia, guys, because it's Gnosis Now. But you can use those tools to find the truth of things. Don't jump straight to the ego and jump straight off the boat into the sea and drown, right? Like, you can look upwards and use the tools that are available to you. Divine tools, because you're a divine being. And that's all I have to say. Thanks, guys. Love you. Take care.